Hi guys, welcome to our Jigsaw lesson on text structure. As you can see, I have transcended my human form and now exist purely as digital video. So this should be fun. You are now in your expert groups and we are going to take a look at the text structure that you've been assigned. So before we look at your expert group's text structure, I just want to give you a quick preview of all 5 of the text structures. The 5 that we will be looking at will be description, cause and effect, problem and solution, sequence, and compare and contrast. Your group has been assigned sequence. Now, the first thing that I want to tell you about the sequence text structure is that sometimes we will see it being called chronological order. Now, this sometimes has a different meaning, but for our purposes in our class, we are just going to look at them as the same thing. So if you see sequence or chronological order, we are talking about the same text structure, and we are just going to call it sequence to keep things simple. Okay? So to start off, let's look at what the word sequence means. Sequence means something that's happening in order. So if the word sequence means happening in order, then our sequence text structure is going to mean that the author has presented their information in a specific order, in specific steps, or maybe even by specific dates in time. Okay? So when you're looking at a sequence text structure, the author is usually giving you some type of step-by-step directions, or they're telling you about events that happened in a certain order, and you can see that by the author giving you dates. Now, let's look at some clues you can use to figure out if the text you're looking at is written in sequence text structure. I want you guys to pay close attention to this because almost always when an author is using the sequential text structure, they are going to use these kinds of words and they're going to be giving you steps or references to time such as dates. The words you're looking for that the author is bound to use would be first, second, third, because they're telling you things in steps, or they might use then, next, before, after, and finally at the end. If an author is giving you information in steps or in time with dates, they are bound to use these clue words. So those are really going to help you when you watch out for those. So to give you guys a clearer picture, let's go ahead and look at some examples. First, instead of looking at regular text, I want you guys to check out this infographic. And what this infographic is doing is it's giving us steps on how to make a bacon sandwich. And this infographic is organized in the sequence text structure. So this is kind of what you're looking for. You see the author has given us steps. First, preheat a large frying pan. Then apply oil, then cook bacon, and you can see how step by step we're being given this information. So technically this is an informational text and it is in sequence text structure. Now we're going to look at something a little closer to the type of text that you might have to look at and identify in class. So this text is a text about the way music formats have changed over time. You can see I've added these pictures here. In 1948, we had the record. In 63, the first cassettes were created. In 1982, the first CDs were created. And then we kind of moved on into MP3s and things like that. So in this text, I've bolded the clue words that you want to be looking for. First, and then we have some dates, 1948, 63, 64, 82. You notice everything is going in order. This is exactly what you're looking for when you're trying to identify that sequence text structure. Let's read through it real quick so you guys can kind of get a feel for it. Physical formats of music have come a long way. First, there was the record. In 1948, see we're starting at the beginning, in 1948 Columbia Records produced a 33 RPM 12-inch long play format which we know, love, and donate to the thrift stores today as the LP. Then There's another clue word. Then came cassettes. Compact cassettes, or tapes, were invented by the Philips Company and made available around 1963. 8-tracks were another type of cassette that people began using around 1964. You see how all the dates are going in order. After the cassette, we jump all the way to 1982 when the compact disc, or CD, arrived. CDs were very convenient and brought together the best of every format that came before it. In 1992, the first MP3s were created, and once people began accessing music on their computers, CDs began to fade. Now, most of us simply stream music from online sources. So you guys can see how the author of this passage gave you everything in steps and in dates, and the author had to use those clue words and those dates. So make sure you look for that. Now, your group has a choice. You guys can either discuss this video, you can go online and research the sequence text structure further, or you can call me over in my physical form and ask me for clarification. So go ahead and get started on that. I will see you guys soon.